Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube. We are now into my post-show rebound phase, and today I am doing quad training and take y'all through this workout. And I put together this plan for this off season, and in my other video I broke it all down, my training split, but basically I still have two leg days. One's a quad focused and one's a hamstring focused. The difference though for this phase is on my hamstring focused day, I do have a slight emphasis in back, so I'll do have a little bit of back training, and the execution of how I'm doing hams is a little different to emphasize some back. But I wanted to show just a quad focused leg day and what I'm doing, how I'm trying to emphasize more quad sweep, but at the same time also work on my rec fem. That's the muscle I tore. And it kind of involves the lateralis of the quad, because I was having a hard time contracting it on stage. So whatever I can do in the gym to continually activate and contract that area, so I have an easier time contracting on stage. And basically what I think happens is, tearing it, you lose some of that neural connection. And for me to activate it, it takes so much more effort, and I would just lose contraction on stage. So it's just gonna take some time. Continue training that area and developing those neural pathways again. But my main exercise selection hasn't changed much throughout this whole past year. The stuff that I found that works well, it continues to work well. So don't change something that hasn't stopped working for you, which I'm always starting with like a super squat, and the movement's very controlled. Like I don't do any barbell back squats, so it's like my first exercise is always a hack squat or the super squat machine. What I have changed though is the execution, and for everything, especially back, because I can really need to focus on using the intended muscle group to move the weight. And so I'm slowing down these eccentric movements a lot, and it's made a big difference. I mean, I can explode up on the concentric phase, but slowing down to really think about where I'm contracting the muscles made a gigantic difference. And for just doing the super squats, I'll just do 2 work sets. I'll warm up, I'll do 4 warm-up sets, then I work up to a max out set of about 10 to 12 reps. I've raised my rep ranges up just for safety, but also during this rebound phase, I'm trying to take advantage of this cell swelling and pump that occurs, because it's just so great. You have this very, very insulin sensitive, using a lot of carbohydrates, so the pumps are massive, and just cell swelling itself is a stimulus for hypertrophy. So I'm trying to raise some of these rep ranges up some. So I'll hit my first work set around 10 to 12, then I'll lower weight about 30% and try to hit something above 15 reps. And I'll move on. My next exercise is a banded leg press, which putting like a regular 40 degree, this is a 40 degree leg press I'm on, but even if it's a 45 degree leg press, like the strength curve, it gets a lot easier at the top. Like if you see people doing quarter leg presses, only bring it down like, halfway or something, they can load a lot of weight. But adding the band changes that strength curve to where you have like a constant increasing tension throughout the range of motion, so you can load the quads a lot better throughout the full range of motion. You need quite a big band though to do it. But even with this one, it's like a slow, eccentric, near pause at the bottom, and then contract up. And a lot of times I'm like kind of touching my lateralis just to kind of helps ingrain that mind-muscle connection of where I'm trying to press with, and driving with the heels and the outside of the foot. Same thing with this one. I'll go up and I'll hit something higher. I'll try to hit a near failure set between 15 to 20 reps, and I'll stay with the same weight for one more set. And I think a lot of guys post show, everyone like quits everything, and for me it's the time to push everything, because you can make such good progress, and training doesn't stop at all. Like I got back home like Tuesday from that show, and I already had my plan set up and going, and training as hard as I did even leading up to the show. I think that's a mistake many people make, and I don't think many people realize that if you're like, this is what we do as pros. We don't stop. It's a continuation of prep, or there's no off period. We're always trying to improve, whether that's in prep or in the improvement season or whatever you choose to call it. But there's always a set meal plan. Training's always hard. There's no real downtime except maybe a week every now and then out of the whole year. But it's all planned. So if you have aspirations to turn pro, you should already be doing that. If your off season looks like, hey, this guy's really is off, he's not training hard, if there's pizza and ice cream in your weekly cheat meals, you're not doing it right. I promise you that. You cannot do that if you want to go turn pro. Maybe some people can, but the majority of us don't have the genetics like some. And even if you did have the genetics, why would you not do everything to the fullest that you can? Just that wouldn't even make sense. You want to be the best. You have to exploit every aspect, every variable to the fullest. So I do leg press, and then so that's my 2 quad movements, and I'll do one. Since I'm back down on my hamstring volume somewhat on my back and ham day, I'll add a hamstring move, a compound hamstring move onto my quad day. My quads are just so strong. So they're such a strong body part that I've backed down volume on them and added in back volume. So that's why I'm not doing a lot of quad volume. But I'll go on to a dumbbell RDL now and just do 2 sets of 20. So I'm not trying to hit a true failure, just trying to do more volume, but it's near close to failure. I got with the 100 pound dumbbells and just focusing on getting really good contraction the whole time, constant tension with them. After the dumbbell RDLs, I'm moving on to a superset of leg extension and leg curl, and doing 2 sets there, 20 reps. Again, just really trying to slow down the eccentric phase and get a good hard contraction. Idea here is maximize blood flow, cell swelling, causing a ton of metabolic stress, and just pumping the muscle full. So I hit my main big heavy compound moves, and now I'm moving on to just pumping, basically. For this week, I did add on 1 extra movement, and I did the Sissy squat. At the Muscle Factory, we have just a standing platform for Sissy squats, and you don't need any body weight if you're doing right, but I'll just do 2 sets to failure, which for this movement, it really hits my more upper quad. You're having to use some hip flexor, and it really gets into my rec fem, which is what I want because I have a hard time. That's kind of right where my tear was. So I can definitely feel the strength difference in it. It was having a hard time contracting as hard as my right one, so it's a move that I'm going to keep in so I can keep strength in that area. If you count those into it, it was 12 work sets total, and that ended the day, which 12 work sets for your whole leg doesn't sound like a lot, but if you push every set really, really hard, like your legs will get really sore. Even the last session off 10 sets, my legs were pretty sore, and so adding in a little bit extra volume this week, I'm sure they're going to be just as sore. And another thing to keep in mind is that my weights are progressing. So off last week, I hit, or it was almost 10 days ago now, I hit some of these rep ranges were right around 10, and now hitting 13, 14 reps with that same weight. So I had a large increase in strength. Body weight's going up, strength's coming back just from not being so depleted in prep and not doing all the cardio I was doing. So just within that, the volume has increased a lot. So you have to take that into account. So before you're adding in more exercises, I did a little bit of both today, but that's just wanted to tell y'all so you can keep that in mind. But that wrapped up my quad and a little bit of hand leg day. Stay tuned. We'll keep all this content coming out. I have my blog posts that I'm doing, so I'm updating you constantly on my progress in this rebound phase and explaining how to do it, because I get so many questions on how to do a rebound phase. So my past video really highlights that, and also have some current blog posts that are going through it as well. For any coaching services, I coach all divisions for all competitors. You can check out my website. I have all the prices there and services that are offered. Until next time, guys, if you have questions or comments, leave them in the description below, and I will see you then.